Hello and welcome to None of Your Business, the podcast that takes a lighthearted look at life outside of work. My name is Nick Pearce and joining me today is an extremely accomplished netballer and also ambassador of the game. She's also an author. She's an amazing person in Jo Weston. We're actually meeting, funnily enough, in a cafe, and it's not the first time we've met in a cafe before. We talk about her recent endeavour as being an author and writing some children's books, growing up in the country and her family having a nut farm, her advocacy work. She's an amazing ambassador for the sport. And also what might be planned for life outside of netball and beyond. Thanks for listening.
So where's the office? Back in division? Yeah, in the office, baby.
None of your business. None of your business. None of your business. None of your business.
Hello and welcome to None of Your Business. Today I'm joined by an incredible guest with such a padded resume. I feel like I need to do it justice and get it right. But a Melbourne Vixen and Aussie Diamond goal defence. Is that your
That's my
primary
main position on the court, yep.
Also, 2022 Commonwealth Games and 2023 Netball World Cup gold medalist.
Yep.
Incredible. Yeah, sorry, nod. Yep,
Do you want
yep.
me to- okay,
It's
I will,
hard to
yep.
accept
Yes.
compliments, but they are objective realities. 2014, 2020, and as corrected, 2025 Vixens Premiership player. Mm-hmm. My God, your trophy cap, that must be very impressive. Vice President of the Australian Netball Players Association. Does that still stand, that position?
I'm actually president now.
You're Prez. Wow. Oh my God, sorry, that's my AI research letting me down.
No, yeah.
Should we call you Prez?
Yeah, call me Prez. Let's roll with it.
You've done a Bachelor of Commerce from Uni of Melbourne, but you're also studying a Masters of Communication. Oh,
Yep, geriatric speed. I'm in my 6th year now. And
Someone
the
said
end
you
is in
wins the race.
sight, but I'm not quite there yet.
Well, you're a great communicator and it'll come out in this podcast. You have your own Gilbert netball named or
Yep.
made after you.
I do, yeah. I didn't make it myself.
Well, what
just so
colour
you
is
know.
it? No, you had input.
I've actually had a variety. I think the initial one was pink because I had a collaboration with BCNA, Breast Cancer Network Australia.
Amazing.
And now I have a light blue one with pink detailing. So, got to keep refreshing the design.
Well, you are also an incredible advocate, which I want to get to because you are a sponsor's dream, but also you get behind so many amazing causes. But we are here today. There's a lot of ambience, a lot of background noise. Can you tell us about where we are right now?
We're at Barton Milk Bar, which is one of our local cafes, actually.
Shout out to James and the team.
Yeah, we're not neighbours. We're in the same neighbourhood.
Vicinity, the Beehive would be our local.
Yeah, that's the local pub, and thank
Yeah.
God that got renovated.
Cash
because-
night is awesome. It's on tonight.
What night is that?
Thursday nights. I'll
Is
see
that
you there.
locals?
Yes, locals night.
Okay.
$4,000 tonight, jackpot. So get there.
Oh, okay. This is good local knowledge.
Yeah,
Okay.
after the first quarter.
Normally I sit outside because I've got a dog.
Yes.
So
We'll
it's
get to
nice to
Billy.
be indoors today.
absolutely.
And
Weather-
they do great coffee here, great food, and it's right near a park, which obviously with kids
Yes.
or with animals, it's always nice to have the outdoor space.
And that's where we've seen each other a bit. But this is not our first time in a coffee shop together.
No.
Would you like to, should I or should you introduce how we happened upon one
Do
another?
you know what year? I'm trying to think what year it would have been.
I reckon it's almost a decade.
Yeah, it would have been 2000,
What about-
2015, 2016.
I give my sort of insight
yeah,
and then
you
I'd
go.
like your counter sort of perspective if that's okay.
Okay, yeah.
So my first and only, and it was a very positive experience, I must preface, Tinder date.
Yeah, we did.
I
go on
remember
a
you had
date.
exceptional banter on the chat and I was like, this chick's really funny. The only curveball that I had on my end was I believe there might have been some history with like an old uni friend of mine and I'd sort of briefed or patted them on that and they weren't too wrapped with having that catch up. Proceeded anyway, but it was a bit of a no-fly zone. So I just want to impress. You are such an impressive person and I should be so lucky.
Yeah.
But
No,
you probably saw me and
No.
thought, short king.
Hey, size does not matter, no. No, and I just thought, I feel like it was whilst you were already building Homey.
Yes.
So I feel like a lot of our discussion revolved around that. And I just thought it was so incredible what you were doing.
come on, how's
your
this
advocacy
turning
work.
out
I know,
amazing?
wow.
Oh, wow.
And just like the opportunities you were offering to people that probably didn't have the same advantages that we'd probably had in
Jo,
our
that's so
lives.
nice.
So
You're a
I
true
just-
professional.
No, I think we've come a long way since then,
No, we have.
obviously, but it wasn't faded for us. But that's okay.
No, it was still a very positive experience and you are such a lovely person. So I'm glad that, we're still in one another's life in
Yep.
some capacity. And I'm so glad you said yes to this and weren't like, I'm so embarrassed to have caught up with that guy before. But it was a very fond memory of mine.
I
Thank
know.
you. A bit of a claim to fame. So I was sort of briefing Jo Weston coming back. She went on a Tinder date. So
A claim to fame for me.
No,
it's,
don't be
it's
silly.
equally reciprocated.
How good's this? This is absolute gold. Thanks, Jo. That's so lovely. But look, I want to focus a little bit about now. We've gotten over the formalities. Your background, because you're a country girl,
Yes.
a farmer's daughter.
Yes. So I've had the best of both worlds. I think it's the beauty of having divorced parents in a way. So I was born in Coron, which is on the border of Victoria and New South Wales.
Yep.
And then my dad's family's from it's not even a town, it's an area called Eurobin.
Okay.
It's in between Myrtleford and Bright, for those who are familiar with the Great Alpine Road.
Lovely part of the world.
At the base of Mount Hotham and in the Alpine region of Victoria. So it's beautiful up there. My dad's family's had a nut farm up there for many generations. So I grew up there, and then I moved to Melbourne when I was in primary school sort of age.
Yep.
And then I've sort of had the bit of the Melbourne, and then during school holidays I'd have the nice outdoor snow, all of those sort of experiences. So people are always like, you're such a city girl. And I'm like, I guess I am for now, but you know what? I don't want to be just one thing.
Yeah, fair enough. And with the nut, like what kind of nuts are we talking?
We grow walnuts, hazelnuts, and chestnuts.
Amazing. I remember this.
Are you anaphylactic by any
No,
chance?
I'm not.
Okay.
So very fortunate. But I actually remember this classic skit. Do you remember the Matt and Joe, the gotcha calls? There was like someone who once their mate dobbed them in, but they were processing like inferior nuts as exotic nuts. Like they were trying to get the discount. And Matt Tilley did the phone call to someone, and they were essentially putting, they were macadamias they were buying, but they were putting them through as what was deemed an inferior nut. And it was a very funny listen. So I recommend going back to the archives because that made me laugh a lot. But in your childhood, like, so harvesting, is that like something you had to get involved in, or like those components? Or no, you were in the city for that? Or
I'd help out at the shop, but I've got two older brothers, so they probably took most of the manual labour on.
Right.
And I'm the only daughter, so I just got to sit there and try and, swindle people out of some cash in exchange for some nuts. But we sell a premium product.
Okay, elevated,
there's no inferior nuts
well, what's
at
your
Weston's
nut?
Walnuts.
Can I ask what is your favourite nut? Like, is it something that's roasted, or is it just pure? And
The double entendre is so funny. I remember it was many years ago, the Herald Sun did a profile on me, and they were quite interested in the farming background of my dad and my family. And the byline was Jo Weston, expert on nuts. And I was like, unsure. I mean, maybe that'll broaden, the general target demographic of netball media.
Yeah.
My favourite nut, I love a cashew.
Cashew, yeah, me too. Salted or unsalted?
Well, I mean, sometimes they can be too salty. I feel like there's
And you're a professional athlete,
a generous
so
hand.
yeah.
And I do just like a roasted almond. I'm a bit basic like that.
That's okay.
Pistachios I like, but I actually prefer
In ice cream
pistachio
form?
flavoured things that are filled with sugar.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's like that spread, which is absolutely delicious. And you think it's permissible as healthy, but it's probably not so much, is it? So I'm curious, like, so with my wife, for instance, also grew up on a farm, and like that work ethic was a big component. Is that something that was instilled in yourself as a young person? And obviously going into professional, sport, was that something that was, I guess part of, the fabric of growing up on a farm and helping out and all the rest of that?
I think so. It's definitely a collective effort that everyone sort of pitches in and does what they can. The early mornings, I think, is something that's sort of ingrained in me in a way, and working, sort of until the sun goes down.
Yes.
I've seen my dad do that for many, many years. And I think it's also about learning what you can control and what you can't. Obviously, people, you see the food on the table and things that come in from our farmers across the country.
Yes.
And I think a lot of the time people don't realise that they're sort of battling, in terms of the elements in a way. We've had so many natural disasters over the last couple of years. So at the end of the day, for my dad, they want to be able to sell the produce that they're making and have success in that way. But there's a lot of things that they just, you can't predict, and you have to be, able to manage that as a business.
No, it's such a great point. I mean, I've recently been watching the Clarkson's Farm. I don't know if you enjoy it or not.
I do love Clarkson's Farm.
It's a great outlet, and obviously such an easy kind of background noise program. But I feel like that also really effectively communicated some of like the plights and the challenges of weather and all the rest of that, and just how incumbent it is on conditions to be conducive to actually growing, etc. So I imagine it's been quite interesting in terms of what about being in that alpine region. So like, did you get involved in snow sports, or like, is that something quite tall? So in terms of like skiing or snowboarding, like, did you ever? It's probably quite risky for you right now, being a professional athlete, to be on the slopes. But did you ever tackle that?
A little bit when I was younger. Both my brothers were quite avid skiers and snowboarders. I probably didn't have the risk appetite when I was a little bit younger.
Yeah.
And now I'm quite probably too tall for it, high center of gravity, and my ACLs are quite valuable assets. So it's probably going to be a post netball.
Are they insured?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to end up with all like the little kids at the snow school that you get dropped off at with all the 3-year-olds, and I'll be there trying to be like pizza.
No, it's so much fun though. I got to say, it's like a music festival. I've been to Hawthorne once, and just the vibe is just amazing.
Yeah, it's really fun.
And Bright is beautiful as well. So. Yeah. What was it like for you to go from that side of things and become a city slicker? Like, what was that transition like? And obviously you were quite young. How did you find that shift? And what do you love about both parts of, living in both worlds?
I think it was probably just a comparison over school holidays. You have friends that are doing, I don't know, going to the Gold Coast or something. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to, I guess, work in inverted commas on the nut farm. So I probably took it for granted a little bit when I was younger, but now I just love being up there. I love being outdoors. And I think it's sort of, you have more perspective when you're older in terms of just the enjoyment and having the space and having the freedom and having the trust. I think obviously when you're on your own property and you've got plenty of space to roam around. Yeah. And then you sort of end up back in the city and, they're like, don't trust that stranger danger, all that sort of stuff. So there's probably some differences there. But I feel like for me, having the best of both worlds meant that I really could pursue sport because if you come from a regional area, a lot of the travel ends up being very prohibitive in terms of what you can manage or the asks that end up landing on your parents too.
Oh, for sure. And like, are there other sports you played in your childhood that kind of helped establish this, now amazing career that you've had in netball? Are there games that you love playing or?
I loved tennis. I played tennis to a pretty competitive level.
You're like good like levers, so I imagine you would have hit a
my
pretty
anger
mighty...
management issues didn't really stem with the solo sport. Like I love being in a team now and I was like a classic walking cliche that as soon I'd be like, 3 set points up and then continue to lose in like 3 sets. Like I would just self-implode. And then I did a lot of dance lessons when I was younger as well. So I love doing that. Jazz, ballet, all of that sort of stuff.
Do you still do that or just exclusive dance floor?
I just dance floor action. Yeah. I've been doing some dance, like group dance classes up in Hawthorne actually. My friend Gabby, she runs like small classes.
Give it a shout out. Come on, let's get the...
Well, I think her handle is Dance with Gabby.
Epic,
and it's been really fun. There's been a few of us that is going, it's good to get in touch, I feel like, and I don't know, everyone sort of cringes when you think about like dancing, I guess, in a way. But I think it's very human in a way. Like you hear music and you want to like move your body and rhythm to the music, and just express yourself in a way that I feel like cell phones have obviously ruined that because people just are petrified of being filmed these days and they don't want to do things that embarrass themselves. But life is short.
Are you self-conscious of like doing like those things being like a public figure and kind of someone's, walking past and seeing Jo? I think it's amazing, Billy Elliot, and it's like it's electricity. Like it's just...
Probably. I feel like because the team I'm in, we've got a bit of a span of ages. So it's been very interesting seeing all of the Gen Zs that have sort of grown up having social media like omnipresent in their lives versus us that probably had it when we were only kind of graduating our last few years of high school and how, it does sort of impact people's ability to kind of be authentically themselves or be a bit worried that they might be filmed. It's so odd that you could be just doing anything in your everyday life and someone feels comfortable enough to film you and post it all over the internet. It is a weird
It is a strange word. Are there any like other quirky like things that you do like about yourself that like you're happy to share or kind of like I'm not a known quantity, although I am someone who's been on a date with Jo Weston, so I can claim that.
I've been on a date with Nick Pierce, so it's
but
mutual.
Cinemas by myself, I often am one of those people that are happy to sit in the back and not nefarious, but just that's actually what I love doing it. It's like the escapism for me. It's like just being in a place where I can fully immerse myself and just switch off from the world. Like, are there any other outlets that you have that kind of enable you to do that? Like the dancing and being free?
Oh, dancing is fun. I love being outdoors. Yep. I think that's something that's really important to me. I like not having my phone on me.
Yeah, good.
In a way. There's a few... I don't actually really know. I love baking and I like eating my baked goods, obviously, after that. I think it comes from the nuts, all of that sort of like farm to table ethos.
Yeah. Is there a distinct tradition that like do you incorporate nuts like a fruit loaf with sort of some more nuts in there? Or?
I definitely make bulk banana bread.
Yum! Oh my God.
I've made Nutella from scratch before because we grow hazelnuts, which is
here we go
in Nutella, and then I'll use that in other sorts of things. We were at the snow last year and I made a Nutella babka, which is like a brioche type thing where they put Nutella in and you platter. It was really good. That was very popular. That won me a few new friends actually.
No doubt.
And all that sort of stuff. So
that's amazing. Well, what about talking about text? Like, so you phone, but you're obviously also into the hard copies because you've been an integral role in getting these books off the ground. I mean, Jo Weston's netball besties and the adventures of, I'm going to make sure I get it right, the mystery of missing Billy, which is actually your dog, a real character.
That's yes, that's
Foul play, Double or Nothing.
Yeah, Double or Nothing. I've got 4 books now, actually. My 4th one is coming out this year.
Oh, how exciting. Can you reveal the name or not as yet? We can hold
maybe
fire.
not yet.
Yeah, that's okay, but we know a 4th's coming. But can you tell me, like, so how does that happen? How do you, like, get an idea and get that onto paper and have it published and it sort of be in the world? Like, it's pretty surreal to be like, I'm also not only this, but, an author.
Yeah.
Or, someone who leads this project.
Yeah. No, it was quite, I loved reading. Probably that's one of the things, whether it's going to the movies or I do love to read. I love historical fiction, all that sort of stuff. And I was sort of posting about books and things like that online. So I think people knew I was sort of genuinely interested in reading. And I loved it when I was a kid too, because we'd spend so much time in the car driving.
Yeah.
I would just read and
books.
read
you get
and read.
in the car, the motion.
No, you just got to push through that.
Okay, wow.
That's just,
that's why you're a person I'm not like
motion
immensely
sickness
tough.
is just a weakness. No.
Waters for weaklings is what. Yeah,
no, it is definitely real. And then I was sort of workshopping maybe a bit of a picture book. It was got to do with my team, the Melbourne Vixens.
Yep.
Obviously, a vixen is a female fox, and foxes are an introduced species. It was going to be something about like native versus introduced species, and then my dog Billy was going to be in it, something along those lines. And I sort of pitched it out to a couple of publishers, and I didn't really have much interest, which, to be honest, it wasn't a fully fleshed out idea.
Yeah.
And then sort of out of the blue, Penguin had reached out to me and said, would you be interested in collaborating on a young fiction series? And they'd worked with a couple of other sports people. And in our first initial meeting, they were like, we just, love what you're about. And we really love Billy. And I was like, my dog? And they were like, yeah.
More than you.
Billy is a star. And I was like, so we're a package. I said, but we're a package deal. Got to negotiate, obviously.
You got the name.
And it's sort of loosely based on my own life. Jo, small Jo, in the book, she lives on a nut farm and she goes to the local school and she plays in the netball team and she has a new friend that moves in next door, Ava, and they solve mysteries together. So
epic.
The 3rd book, Double or Nothing, is probably one of my favourite ones because they get to come to Melbourne, which is like quite fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's got netball, but it's about friendship and adventure and all of those fun things.
It's unsurprising because I think you're like such an amazing ambassador and like advocate for the game and role model. I'm sorry, I know I'm like heaping praise on you, but it's so true. I feel like, again, you're like a sponsor's dream, but you're just so well-spoken, articulate, and involved and engaged in like advocacy. I do want to ask you before getting to that though, like, has there been a formative text, like, as you grew up, like a book that you just love reading or something that just really has stayed with you, or something that's, currently you're reading or engaging with? Oh,
my favourite books when I was younger were Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, okay.
And The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe series by C.S. Lewis.
Yes.
And I obviously loved watching the movies as well.
Great film. Yeah.
Tilda
Swinton. Chef's kiss. Ice Queen.
She's amazing, isn't she? So I love both of those. So it was sort of, I used to read a lot more fantasy, which is sort of like quite odd now that it's become so popular. And I haven't delved back into that world
like
at
Game
all.
of Thrones or
I've watched a bit of Game of Thrones, but definitely historical fiction is where I sort of like to go. Like I love Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel, which is about Henry VIII and Thomas Cromwell and all of those sorts of things. So that's definitely the genre I like because I don't know, I feel like you're sort of learning at the same time. Self-help and autobiography, I have also had a general interest, but I've decided now I like to listen to them as audiobooks.
Okay.
Rather than read, because reading for me,
Motion
I feel like, I'm like, it feels too much like uni work or something like that, whereas I want it to be more of like an escape.
Yeah,
like
lovely. Oh, that's so good. Actually, recently we were in Oxford, of all places, and we stayed in an Airbnb just around the corner from C.S. Lewis's home.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which was incredible. So sort of like walk past that and there's this reserve which also sort of it backs onto and I just went sort of Daniel was with the kids and went for a walk, but to think what had transpired in that, you're looking through the window thinking it's just incredible what has manifested here, because there's also the there's another new series coming out. Is there a film or a series coming out? I think Greta Gerwig. I don't want
to. She's directing it. We're getting nods from the producers.
You happy with that? Yeah, cool. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, we
these guys, the cultural zeitgeist. These guys are my So that's good to know. Fantastic. Yeah. Very exciting. So those two materials. Yeah. So I don't know. Like for me, we'll talk about Harry Potter, the trailer. Did you watch that today? We're filming. We're recording now, but this will be sort of a couple of months post. Did you watch the
new Harry Potter? I don't think I'm going to.
Oh, no.
I don't think I'm going to engage with the new Harry
tell
Potter.
Mike.
I know. Sorry.
I think problematic.
I think maybe we could cut this. I feel like it's letting sleeping dogs lay. I feel like I had such a beautiful experience. My eldest brother, read me the first Harry Potter book because I was too young to actually read it myself.
That's amazing.
And I think I used to go to the midnight movie premieres and all that sort of stuff. So
Really?
I feel like I've got all these fond memories about it, I think.
Did you dress up? Like, were you sort of...
Unfortunately, yes. I know.
And who did you... Can I ask who your go-to...
Well, I feel like I definitely was into Luna Love.
Oh, Lovegood, yes.
Because of the hair.
Yeah.
And yeah, just no specific character to be honest, but the one that probably ended up with Cedric Diggory, obviously.
Oh, yeah, what a dream
or
boat.
Oliver Wood. That was one of my first on-screen
boy
crushes.
Yeah.
It was him and Jeremy from Peter Pan.
I actually recall him. He was in Friday Night Lights as well. Yeah. No, to be fair, hand up, she's touring later this year. Hilary Duff would have to be.
I know.
Liz
Hilary Duff was the
McGuire.
first concert I went to.
I remember being in on family vacation in Thailand and standing at the train station just staring at an Agent Cody Banks.
Oh, thinking she's the most beautiful
and my
girl
brother
I've
was
ever
tagging
seen.
me come on, mate, this is ridiculous now, let's go. So yeah, absolute dream boat. And they're good recommendations, very handsome men, multi-talented. Rob Pattinson's obviously had an amazing career.
I know.
He's on a hot streak right now, so...
Yeah, he is. I
this
want to see the new movie that's coming out with him and Zendaya.
Sounds quite problematic from what I've heard, quite controversial. There's a twist in there, but also he'll be in the Odyssey, Batman, June. He's killing it.
But is the new film that's also A24? Because I saw Mighty Supreme and
is it good?
Have any of you
Not
guys
sure,
seen
Timmy?
it? Yeah, that's
wow.
okay. I thought it was probably half an hour too long, but that's probably my view
You're
on it.
Putting a line in the sand here, Joe, with a few things.
No, but I mean, I take table tennis very seriously when I play.
Excellent.
So he was a bit of an anti-hero.
Forehand, backhander. What's your? Because obviously tennis background.
I'm probably a backhander.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm not very good.
Competitive. You've obviously got it in you.
Yeah, we're trying.
So does that translate to when you do those I guess more social sports? Does your competitive edge or streak manifest? Because you mentioned sort of the hot head and a bit of temper. Is that lawn bowls, Christmas time with your friends, but you're really trying to win? Or is it you sort of can separate church and state? I'm
so competitive. It is borderline unbearable for some people. Sometimes I do feel a bit bad for my teammates because they're probably can you let it go for once?
Yep.
Obviously, I do respect the umpires, but I will occasionally gently argue.
Mm-hmm. What a contrast.
Yeah, I've always been very opinionated when I was younger, so I think it probably stems from that.
Yeah.
But I've learned that my best way forward to be palatable is just to be a bit ambivalent because it's a bit of a spectrum for me, and it's either 100% I must win everything, do it at all costs, or whatever will happen will happen.
Yeah, great.
But I have been learning how to play golf, and that has been a lesson in patience and a humbling of my
Are you enjoying that? Because I feel like
ego.
you're getting good levers. I feel like you'd probably...
I'm so bad.
Really?
And the frustrating thing about it is that everyone who says they're bad at golf are actually quite good comparative to me.
Yeah, okay.
But that's okay. It's good. And the room for improvement is quite large.
Well, it's interesting going from action-packed kind of intensive, obviously you're playing on a smaller court where you a lot of exertion versus quite a slow, meditative
open and closed skill as well. The learning process has been very different.
Yeah.
Because shooters normally they practice a lot, but I'm a defender.
Yes.
So I just kind of run around with my hands in the air.
Do more than that.
And there's a bit of skill involved, but it's not a repeat skill in a way.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting, the psychology behind it and sort of trying to apply some of the tools I guess I've learned in my netballing career onto my future pro golf career.
Excellent. Well, let's talk. That's a headline there. Let's talk not the game itself and playing, because obviously we want to try and with this program make a point of focusing on life outside of that. But obviously you're so involved in the game. And now as the president, which is incredible, El Presidente. How would you like me to refer to you? Is there a phrase?
No, that's fine. But we can talk to my EA after.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. But I just, getting back to the game, was that something that you're always keen to do from the outset, or it's sort of grown as you've, achieved these accolades and wanted to sort of give back to the next generation? Where does that come from? Because you are very generous with not only this, I want to talk about sort of some of your philanthropic and advocacy work as well, but for the game itself and growing the game, where does that stem from?
Well, I think when I first started playing for the Vixens, Bianca Chatfield was the captain and she was quite involved. She was the captain and she was also very involved in the Players Association. And then my grandfather, he was a lawyer and he was a barrister when I was younger, and he was very heavily involved in legal aid and the setup of that in Victoria. So I think it was sort of ingrained in me in terms of being able to use your platform and I guess the skill set that you develop to be able to assist others. And I guess naturally I've always sort of been interested, coming from a finance background, from my tertiary studies about like the commercial workings of sport and also like how they always say that like sport and politics don't mix, but there's just such a huge overlap with what we do. So yeah, people probably think I'm maybe too opinionated at sometimes, but I try and at least be able to use that to give back or to push our sport forward or be able to educate people.
Absolutely.
And just be able to, because I feel like it's, you know, a rising tide lifts all boats mentality, and eventually I'll be washed up. Wow, this is a lot of like ocean metaphors, isn't it? The tides, they'll just roll, changes of the tides. And hopefully, you know, the work that I've been able to try and put in and give back in a leadership space.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm probably a little bit hot-headed, so on-court leadership isn't really my strong suit in a way.
You've got the game off the field.
Off-field. And it's something I'm naturally interested in, so it doesn't really feel like it's work per se for me. But yeah, it can be time-consuming, but I enjoy it.
But a big achievement. So you secured this landmark 2023 CPA that included revenue sharing principles.
Yep.
I remember you were like in the media, front and centre, like getting pretty pent. And like that's amazing though, that your passion has bled through and you've achieved that. Like, is that something you're really proud of, I guess, off court as an accomplishment of yours?
I don't really think about it from a personal perspective. I guess for me, I'm probably invested in the future of our sport, and I think it's the future of like women's sport generally. But we're sort of like, netball was sort of this real pinnacle when I was younger, and it was not the only option, but it was one of a few options that people could sort of pursue to the elite level. And now we're slowly, it's like we've been running at one speed for a while, and we've got all these other sports that are like sprinting behind us, rapidly coming to overtake. So, you know, I'm passionate about our game. I feel like it's the ultimate team game. You literally cannot move the ball from one end to the other end because you're, can't go. You're restricted with your movement based on the bib you wear on the court. Whereas basketball, you got one tall player, they go rebound, score, score. Boring. Yeah. Netball. Hey, let's make it even better.
Strategy.
You can't run with the ball.
Yeah.
No bouncing, you know.
Absolutely.
But I think, you know, team sports in general, I feel like really build communication, the ability to work collaboratively. And it's all those sort of skills which I feel like kids, whether they're boys or girls playing any sport, is just so beneficial. But pick netball, obviously.
No, for sure. I mean, you are the ultimate team player. And I wonder about sort of, I remember, again, early days in that fateful catch-up, you were also working like in it's consulting, like a financial services at the time.
Yes, I had a normal job.
So yeah, like balancing obviously that, like did either of those like feed through to one another? Obviously, like sort of, you know, being a professional athlete, then also in that corporate environment, like was there anything that sort of like you took from that into that or vice versa?
I worked at Deloitte for a couple of years as part of their graduate program, fresh out of uni.
Yeah.
We get paid a little bit more now. So perhaps that, pushing forward with our collective bargaining agreement was a bit selfish in a way. No longer have to have a part-time job.
To see you
very
from
self-indulgent.
there to here now is like, it's awesome. Like it's such an amazing thing that you've been instrumental in.
But I really liked it. I think having something outside of the game has always been sort of something I've strived towards and probably reinforced to me by my parents, because I think netball has come a long way, but it's not a sport where you can sort of accumulate, you know, money whilst you're earning, like whilst you're playing, and then be able to sort of like live off that. And I don't, that's not something I would have probably wanted to try and do with my life anyway, but I am going to try my hand at golf. I'm really bad at golf. Sorry, let's drop that. No, let's drop it. Sorry. I've doubled down.
Yeah, but you are, so aside from sort of, you know, as I say, that formal title, also I feel like as an ambassador for the game, like you are such a wonderful role model. Again, I feel like, please take the compliments, but just there are people who, like, I know a lot of footballers and, you know, whatnot, but you really are, like, I think you don't take it lightly, the responsibility of, you know, your position and your privilege and being that positive example, which you are to so many. Like, where does that come from? Is that values instilled by family and just, like, obviously it's all you, but I just feel like there's an extra degree when you meet Jo and speak to her. Like, I just know you don't take it lightly, like kind of the privilege, you know, but you've worked so hard to be in this position, but it's something I thought you wear like so well and gracefully.
Oh. I just think it's so sweet. I feel like it's very easy for me to put myself back in the shoes of like a lot of the young children.
In the ASICS runners? Sponsors?
Yeah, I think I was probably wearing ASICS back then as well. Good. I mean, they've got a bit of
the sponsors in, give them a pump up.
Yeah, it's very easy for me to put myself back in the ASICS shoes of all these young kids when I meet them, because it only feels, you know, not that long ago that was me. So I feel like I just want to make sure that if people meet me, they have a really positive experience, because I do believe, obviously, they're interested in me, but we're sort of interchangeable at the end of the day. Like, sort of, you know, I play goal defence for a little while and then I'll stop playing netball and someone else will play goal defence and I'm sure the kids will love them as well.
They won't have books, so they won't have 4, best-selling children books.
Maybe they'll have 10 or something, Nick, please.
Well, you're the pioneer, trailblazer.
But I just think it's really nice, and I feel like having those experiences give kids, something to aim towards or something to feel passionate about, or I think just having really good role models is really helpful. And I feel like sometimes, parents can probably repeat themselves time and time again. Not sure if you're feeling like this, not sure what your, parental policies are, but having it, I guess, come from, a different perspective or a voice that they're probably like, wow, they're saying the same things that mum and dad are saying, I think is hopefully, making sure our next generation are in a really good place.
No, that's awesome. Is there like a role model that you can think about that's outside of family or within family that has been really pivotal in your kind of how you've modeled yourself?
Well, I was such a big tennis player. I loved Yvonne Goolagong when I was younger. I've got a couple of photos of me meeting her when I was probably like the same size as this.
Amazing.
And I think obviously what she'd done and her advocacy work and her success as well on the sporting and how she carried herself, I guess, was definitely, but I mean, there's so many within netball, Liz Ellis, Bianca, who I played with for many years. They were just such great advocates. They were quietly confident as well. Like they were obviously had a lot of humility, but they didn't step back from I guess what they'd have achieved and, being comfortable to, speak for themselves and be able to, because I feel like it's not shameless self-promotion all of the time, but you need people at the forefront kind of being the faces of the sport in a way. And we don't have the luxury of having huge profiling or having the numbers that AFL has in every week. So you sort of have to do a bit of the heavy lifting yourself. Yeah,
well, you do an amazing job.
And I'm super strong, so it's fine.
You absolutely are. I was wondering in terms of, I guess like, sort of on top of that, you do the sort of advocacy work for the game, but then also a lot for social causes. Again, is that something that sort of came from family values or like innate sort of, desire to contribute? Because you obviously, again, I feel like don't take it lightly, but you're very active. There's been so many organisations and causes that you've rallied behind and lent your weight to, and don't sell yourself short in terms of you are in the cultural zeitgeist right now, Jo. As like, I remember I was speaking to Max Gone, we did a recording earlier, and he said, Jo Weston's just everywhere right now, so you really are kind of, using your profile for so much good.
Well, it's actually Rudy Ellis, who's my teammate now at the Vixens. We've been playing together for a couple of years and we're both tall and blonde. So I think people are having that like weird psychological thing where they might actually see Rudy, but they think it's me. Okay. So perhaps that's also like I've always got, or they see me and they think I'm her. Yeah, so it's kind of good. Like we're at two places at once. Like I'm everywhere. Yeah. It's very Harry Potter-esque, like Hermione with the whatever the little.
Was Polyjuice Potion? No, is that different? The Polyjuice
it's like
Potion?
The little. Sorry, what's it called? The necklace that she wore. Time turner. That's what Rudy and I are doing at the moment. Two places at once.
No, very good. Mike's the best person to ask about that as well.
Oh God, you realise you're such a Harry Potter.
The biggest
encyclopedia.
He's got a podcast about it, so should dial in. Absolutely, it's awesome. Okay. It's awesome. But so that sort of things. Like, not taking it like you really are super involved and engaged. Just something you obviously is it values that were taught to you or just.
I think I have family members that are very open with their political views, and we're very comfortable, I think, debating things as a family, whether you believe in the same things or whether you might be slightly ajar in terms of your viewpoints. But I think for me, I've always just felt kind of inspired to see other people be able to use their platforms to give back and make positive change. So it does feel a bit daunting at once because you're like, oh, maybe I just sound like I'm preaching. But I feel like for me, I'd prefer to do something than do nothing.
That's awesome. That's a great quote. Can I ask you a bit about another love of your life? Your dog Billy is 8 years old.
She's 8 now. Yes,
she's 8. So tell us a bit about Billy and the role she plays in your life.
Well, her full name is Billie Jean because she's named after Billie Jean King.
Has to be.
And I want to get a second dog to call Roger after the Fed, but I don't know if that's on my agenda at the moment.
Okay,
Future plans.
Yes.
Yes, I always wanted a dog. I really wanted an Australian Shepherd after seeing this one interview with Amanda Seyfried, I think, from Mean Girls, the actress.
Yes, the weather girl.
Yes, she was on, I think, Jimmy Fallon or something. And she had her Australian Shepherd and it balanced a hamburger on its head. And I said, that's the type of dog I want that can do tricks on command. Billy can't do any of that. But it's got nothing to do with my training.
No, this looks the part though, at least.
Yes, and I got her back in 2018 and she was meant to be like a congratulations after we played in the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games, so it ended up being a commiserations dog because we lost.
It's okay.
But that's okay. Silver linings after a silver medal. And I love her. I think I've lived by myself for quite a long time, so I think having a dog is a really great social outing. It's a really great way to keep fit. I get to chat to everyone down at St James Park.
Yeah.
Probably a bit troubling for my mum that sort of gets her handballed to me because we do travel quite a bit.
So yeah.
So maybe in hindsight, getting a dog maybe wasn't the best thing, but yeah, she's just a beautiful dog, and I'm very lucky. But she's getting a little bit older now, which is a bit sad.
Do you like take her on runs and stuff with you? Like I said, imagine again, you'd set a pretty good pace. So I'd fear for that dog going
She's
on a
not
run with
that
Jo
fit.
Weston.
She doesn't really like running. She likes running after the ball.
Okay.
But she doesn't really like. She likes stopping and starting.
Okay.
Interval
training.
Interval training. Yeah.
I want to ask you a bit about sort of your travel. You've done a lot of that with the game, but also I guess outside it seems like you're a bit of an avid explorer and gone to some pretty exotic places. I think you were sort of like, was it Middle East or Saudi Arabia?
I was in Oman last year, which
Apologies,
I feel like I can report live on because I don't know if anyone will see that country for the next couple of months.
Yeah, for sure. No, but like so places are a bit, again, like in the off season, like doing things that are a bit different. Like, so is that you're always trying to go to locations that are a bit sort of,
Well, I love traveling. I feel like going to, exploring new places and just sort of broadening your horizons has always been something I just kind of love to do, whether it's normally been food driven in terms of going to places to experience the food and experiencing the culture. But yeah, most off seasons I try and at least do one trip.
Yep.
Timing permitting, budget permitting,
Yeah,
obviously.
of course. Yeah.
Last year I
Come
went to
on,
Oman. I went to Vietnam the year before that.
Amazing.
And then the last couple of years we'd have major netball tournaments. We had one in Cape Town in South Africa.
Incredible.
And then I went on a bit of a safari in Africa after
amazing.
that. And
How
then
many
we
did you see
played.
out of the big?
We saw all the animals.
Amazing.
It was, and like, there's something about giraffes. Giraffes are my favorite. I don't know if it's just because I'm tall.
Spirit animal?
Yeah, I feel spiritually connected to them.
They are beautiful. Yeah.
You go, how is your neck so long? And then I played in Birmingham for the last Commonwealth Games. And after that, I had a bit of a Euro trip, which was quite fun. So there's a few places that are still on my hit list. I really want to go to Mexico.
Okay. What amazing things.
And Mexico City as well. See the Frida Kahlo exhibitions and all of that sort of stuff.
Incredible.
And there's a few spots in over outside the UK. I was really hoping if I make the Commonwealth Games team this year, it's in Glasgow. So I might do a little Ireland road trip because I've never been there before and drink my body weight in Guinness.
I was going to ask.
Post-competition.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're into Guinness though? Like that you're a pro Guinness?
Yeah, well, I do attempt to split the G, but
Do you?
I'll have it. You have to.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get water there. I think you just drink Guinness.
It's really taken off. I got to say, like, isn't it? I mean, I was.
Oh,
in the UK
you're on
last-
ground level. You were.
I tell you what. So I wasn't. I'm a huge convert now, and I absolutely love it. And allegedly, like, there's more like benefits for your health allegedly than other sort of beers.
It's lower carb.
So is that right? That's what it is, right? Never really took to it. But then in the last year, I've really that's now the sort of go-to and preferred beverage choice. Although it bloody stings you for a pint. It's
Oh, how much is a
I
pint
don't know.
going
These
these
are like
days?
15 plus, like 17 maybe it is.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it's worth it. It's liquid gold. So in terms of like you're a foodie, and obviously like sweets, right? You said nuts, etc. But is there like a cuisine that you're most fond of?
Ooh, probably Japanese food. I
Okay.
think I love fresh fish.
Yeah.
All of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That'd probably be my go-to.
Have you done Japan? Like, have you gone and?
I've been there a couple of times. Not skiing. That's on my. That's definitely on my travel.
Skiing, golf, yeah.
No, well, I'm already planning the holiday for when it happens. I'm going to go skiing at the end of the season, probably in Sapporo where there's still snow, and then I'm going to stay for the F1.
Oh, epic. Are you into the F1? That's like a...
Yeah, well, my brothers are like, they're big rev heads, as
Okay,
they'd
cool.
say.
Yeah.
And my eldest brother,
They
he
like
lived
this
in...
T-shirt, Fast and Furious? Are they...
They're probably, they're also big gamers. They're not...
Wonderful
I don't want to say they're not
franchise.
athletic. They're just not that into sports.
Good on them. Yeah.
Playing sports.
Yeah.
They're into watching soccer
With you.
and F1.
Nice.
And playing video games.
Consuming, yeah, fantastic.
But my eldest brother lived in Singapore for nearly 10 years.
Okay.
So he would obviously go to the Singapore GP, but he would come back
Yeah,
over
awesome.
Easter normally for the Melbourne one.
Oh, sounds like
and
an
we'd all go
amazing
together.
idea. No, it sounds brilliant. Now, I need to go to our sponsored segment with the Merry People, Merry Moments, sponsored by the Oberon Boot.
Yes.
I'd love to know, like, do you have a favourite adventure or a travel story? It could even be a night out that you've had before that was just awesome, that escalated. Is there somewhere you've been that's just stuck with you?
One of my good friends, Aurora, we went to Taiwan together.
Oh, wow.
It must have been back in 2017 and it was her birthday. So it's memorable for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And we'd taken the train to a very remote country area, probably like the equivalent of Bright.
Okay, yes.
And we were going to do some hiking because hiking's very popular over there.
Yeah,
But when
right.
we got there, we realised the only way really to get around was to wait for hours and hours for the tourist buses. So we're like, we'll hire a car.
Okay.
So I hired a car. It was a little hatchback or something. They were very lenient about it. Didn't ask my driver's license at all.
Yeah.
We have a great day, and we're going to do multiple days hike. This is the first night.
Yeah, right.
So we go into the national park.
Yeah.
We drive around. We have a look, and we're like, okay, planning what we're going to do for the next day.
Yeah.
I drive back into the remote town. There's not really anything there. There's sort of like our very average-looking accommodation and a restaurant. And they drive on the same side. Do they drive? I actually don't remember. But I pulled up in front of our hotel. And I was like, oh, let's go get dinner. And instead of just parking on that side, I decided to do a U-turn to park in front of the restaurant, even though we probably could have just parked and walked across the road. I proceed to mount the curb. And then I look and we get out of the car and the tyre has completely flattened.
Oh, no.
And I was like, this is not happy birthday.
You feel so exposed.
And I was like, it's fine. I'll change the tyre for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, you know how to change a tyre? I definitely don't. Like, can you do that for me, please?
You'd be able to handle it. Anyway, I pull out all our suitcases out of the boot and then I flip open the thing and there's nothing there. It's just an empty, vacant spot where the spare tyre is meant to be.
No.
And I was like, oh, fuck, it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, no swearing.
That's fine. No, you can swear. Yeah. Encouraged.
And she doesn't look upset at this point. So then we go into the restaurant. They don't speak any English.
Yeah.
And like, we don't have phone service. Like, you don't really have you wouldn't have, I don't know, whatever. Like, there was Wi-Fi, but you wouldn't pay or have roaming those days.
No.
It was back when it was like prohibitively expensive.
Yeah, so bad. Yeah.
So we're trying to like converse in English and they call someone and they say, okay, someone's going to come. No time frame. So we then spend the next week, have our dinner, delicious.
Lovely.
Happy birthday to
gorgeous.
Aurora.
Yeah, shout
and
out.
then we sit on we should have actually gone back into the hotel in hindsight, but we didn't know when they were going to come. We didn't have a phone number. So we're like, we'll just wait by the car. And then we sat in the gutter for 4 hours and waited. And then suddenly, randomly, middle of the night, they come, they change the tyre. I think we paid a lot of money for it as well, but
oh my God.
I feel like I've blacked that out of my memory.
But you do remember those things, like the things that go wrong are the things that do always stand out right the most. So like fond memories. I'm glad it was a nice dinner.
And the next day we did do some hiking and we were very underprepared. It was a funny trip. And the only runners she bought were like Adidas Superstars and it was like muddy terrain. And I was looking at her being like, what are you wearing?
No, but they do stick out. I feel like when the comic era is like, that's the stuff that you do. Like look back most fondly of because it is, So that's a lovely share. And I guess, on your off days, like what does like your best day look like for Jo Weston? Like you have, maybe you're not having to play that day, although that might be part of it. You're just like, So tell me what does it look like when you're off
it looks like waking up and it's going to be sunny, but not too hot.
Okay.
Obviously weather important.
Always.
Small sleep in, not too much of a sleep in though. Don't want to waste a day.
Yeah, good,
up and at 'em.
Yeah, I like it.
Farmer's daughter.
Yeah.
Billy and I, we head to the park.
Yeah.
Get a coffee, probably here.
Bun. Yep.
Come to
I'd
Barden,
hope so.
do a little loop, probably make it back home before all the primary school kids come out because Billy and Scooters don't really align.
Yep.
So I've got to make sure she's restricted from Scooters.
Understood.
From there, maybe I would like to do... Oh, what would I like to do? Maybe something else active.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe have a golf lesson or something else. I probably want to do that in the afternoon. Probably want to sit, maybe read, either go and get my nails done. There's so many options.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's why I want to know what.
Oh gosh. Or maybe I'd like to go shopping, but like have like a voucher. So
it's not outlaying off your own.
I think I'd be able to go and enjoy without probably second guessing everything. There may be some like outdoors activity, like maybe some social tennis or like a little driving range session, and then going out for like a really nice dinner.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like people that are professional athletes, there's always like so much activeness in there. Like it's just a lovely thing. But it's like obviously I imagine that will be something you carry through for the rest of your life, right? Is like being on the move and always these sort of tactile.
And I go out to my garden and I'm growing tomatoes and
gorgeous.
They're finally ripe.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's that sort of day that everything just goes my way.
That's happy days. Well, I also want to ask you a little bit about like maybe if you've entertained sort of life beyond netball, but particularly because like you're starting this communications degree and you are like so articulate and well spoken. I know you featured sort of in some content recently with Kick It Forward and you've been on Cheap Seats and you did an amazing job there. And
you need a master's to get with the Kick It Forward boys.
Okay,
That's what they said. They said show us the degree and then you can come in.
Important. Shout out to those guys for an amazing program. But I mean, like, is that an area that you're quite interested in? Is communication and like being, on the mic? Is that something you've thought about? Because you're really good at it, obviously.
I do co-host our Vixens podcast, but that's a bit of an ad hoc production. It doesn't have this many cameras.
Mike
that's
and
for
Joel
sure.
are available. Don't worry about that. A premium service.
Perhaps we can talk after. Yeah. I'll talk. I'll get Netball Victoria to talk to you. See what we can make
negotiate.
But I've just really liked it. I did a finance degree in my undergrad, and then I had a bit of experience in the consulting world. And I think doing an arts degree has been very eye-opening for me because there's a lot more words required in the assignments
Yes.
and a bit more critical thinking as well, versus just looking at the numbers and trying to make sense of them. But I think something that kind of amalgamates the two together, I'd be interested in. Probably something in sport.
Okay.
Because I love it. I love what it brings to communities. I love the live events and the moments it can create and all of those sorts of things. So maybe something in those. But I haven't quite landed. I've actually been doing my internship at Cricket Australia over the summer.
Amazing.
Which has been kind of cool, especially in the I can't bowl to save myself, especially in the lead up to the Ashes, and then they had obviously the Big Bashes potentially being sold. So something that kind of combines all of the sort of commercial
and
interests and maybe like a bit of strategic comms or government relations. Something in, I don't know entirely what that looks like. We'll see.
Could be like a GM of a major program potentially.
Yeah, or I'd love to work for Melbourne Park, which is the government arm that looks after Rod Laver, John Cain Arena, Margaret Court, and then I can just go to the tennis every year.
No,
so
you're
work smarter, not harder.
No, that's right. You are a shoo-in for that. No, we're almost done. I really appreciate your time. I mean, your coffee order, you've just enjoyed a...
This is an oat cappuccino because they use real chocolate here. Or I don't know if I just get special treatment because we're on camera today. But normally I think it is. Yeah,
so that is your go-to though. If anyone sees you stream goes, want to buy Jo a coffee, it's a...
Yeah, that doesn't. Does that happen to you?
No, but it could. I mean, you've got more profile than me, so
maybe they'll shout you a pint of Guinness after your complaints about the.
I'm actually a weak. I've got caffeine sensitivity, so I have a weak latte with the sugar, which we joked the other day is like milk with.
You should just have a mocha,
or just have warm milk, like my son and daughter at night time.
A baby chino?
Yeah, probably. And is there anything, just lastly, like that you're watching or listening to or reading right now outside of Jo Weston's besties? Like, is there something, like any materials that you're into, any shows that you're excited about or enjoying, music you're listening to?
What have I been watching recently? I started watching Industry, which is an HBO show because I love Succession.
And what do you reckon?
It took me a while to get into it. I feel like I have to turn the volume up because it's so soft.
Yes. Do not watch with family either, like parents.
Yeah, there's a bit of graphic content. I also wasn't expecting that because I was watching it on a plane and I was like, skip.
It's the worst. Probably the worst thing you watch the plane. Absolutely. Yeah. But keep watching.
And because my brothers work in finance as well, I was like, is this what you guys do?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's educational for me. So
A bit of context.
I've kind of been watching that. I do also watch a bit of reality TV.
Here we go.
I love historical, like The Gilded Age was like the show I was obsessed with for a while.
Yeah.
But I watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
And what are you making of, can we comment on
the
latest
well, that's kind of, I haven't been following along. Yeah, let's go no fly zone on that because I feel like it's a bit muddy, but I don't endorse any of it.
No, not qualified at all.
And I watch The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City as well. So
that's like the best one, right? Like that, people say like that, if you're going to watch one, that's kind of the...
Well, it's pretty crazy because one of the housewives in the first series or the second season gets arrested for wire fraud and she goes to prison.
Oh my God.
And now she's out of prison. I don't think she's back on the show. And Mary, one of the other housewives, this is really boring chat. They say she's married to someone that's like her relative or something. And they have their own church and it's all very interesting.
Here we go.
You know?
I can tell
you know what I mean?
I can tell you're watching it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's great.
So I watch those sorts of shows. You know, it's all on the spectrum.
Yeah, good.
And what did I recently read? I read Burial Rites, which is a series by, I think it's Hannah Kent or Hannah Dent.
Okay.
And that's set in rural Iceland. That's a very sad book. But she's got a couple of books, so I'll probably move on to the next one now.
Awesome. And any last like game day tunes that get you pumped up? That's like your go-to.
I love disco music. That sort of thing. The music is hotly contested in the team because there's a lot of people that don't.
For the speaker pre-game warm-up.
Because I also like a bit of house music, but I don't want it to be too uns. There has to be some lyrics in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of girls that now dabble in country music, which I do like, but I think it's a bit slow. Sometimes, like right before pre-game, it's kind of a bit like, here's my beer.
Yeah.
You know, where is my wife? You know, this isn't really like inspiring for me.
No, not getting your G'd up.
Or maybe just like a bit of like, it's a mixed bag. We go for, but we're going for a bit of like 2010s R&B,
epic,
like nightclub tunes. You know, that sort of like Flow Rider,
Neo,
all of that sort of Britney Spears kind of. I like that sort of, which I feel like hits a bit of a sweet spot. Lots of people like that.
Yeah. To those memes around like
Pitbull.
Yeah. To be fair, if he toured, I mean. Come on, if he toured, like I would be there.
He was here last year. Did you not go?
Pitbull and my wife went, so it was the best thing ever. Pitbull and Kesha is like my dream. Yeah. Like I would lose my shit.
No, well, I fit in because people don't know this about me, but because I have no discernible hairline because my skin is so pale and my hair is so blonde.
It's
that
a
in
much
the
better
right,
hairline than mine.
In the right light, I also look bald. So I relate on a spiritual level.
We can go and wear those bald caps together.
I was at a wedding recently, and me and all the gentlemen with no hair, we got a photo.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I had my hair pulled back in a ponytail because it was so hot. And I was like, these are my people.
No, fantastic. Well, Jo, you are so generous. As I say, you're an amazing ambassador for your game, but also as a role model to young people
Nick.
all around. It's been a pleasure to chat to you and reconnect over a coffee.
Yes.
Date 2 better than date 1?
Oh, definitely. Date 1 was good though. I can't really remember it, to be honest. Yeah.
It was good, yeah.
Oh, damn. I thought this was my opportunity. That's the only reason I agreed to
No,
it.
it was lovely to see you again, and congratulations on all that you're doing, and good luck this year.
Thank you. Go Vixens.
Go Vixens, come on. Let's go.
Back to back.
None of your business. None of your business. None of your business. None of your business.